So this is a little get to know me. I don't know why I feel weird talking all of a sudden. This is basically my story, introduction to moi. Here we go. From Sydney, grew up most of my life there. I played basketball really competitively, like my whole life. And anyway, when I was 19, I left Australia to go on exchange to America, University of Georgia, in the deep south. I was there for about 3-4 months, and honestly, it was so fun. Like, I can't even explain how funny it was. It's like exactly like the movies, frat parties, all those things. I met 3 sort of key people there that have kind of changed the course of my life. 2 of which, 2 English guys that I live with now, and the other one is my ex. She was Norwegian. Once I met her, I ended up a year later, we started dating and I moved to Norway. So I moved to Bergen. I was living with her in Bergen for about 6 months, and then we broke up. I then moved to Oslo by myself and stayed in Oslo for about 1.5 years. And that was when things that was when really the, I don't know, craziness started to happen, I suppose, in my life. Because I got a bit of a Norwegian following while I was there. So I started on TikTok. My whole account was in Norwegian because I was like learning the language, and I was basically just like making fun of Norwegian little cultural idiosyncrasies and just trying to be Norwegian, essentially. After I'd been living there for about 4 months, Sony Music Norway reached out. This was like the most random thing ever. They reached out and they were like, "We want to make a song with you." And then I was just like, "Excuse me, what do you mean?" And like, yeah, like let's hop on like a meeting. And I was thinking, okay. And this was some random person that DM'd me. It wasn't from the Sony Music account. So I was thinking, is this dodgy? And anyway, I hopped on a call and there's like 4 Sony Music employees, and they were all just like looking at me like talking, and they were super nice, but they were saying, yeah, we would love to build a song around like your online persona, and we will get some professional songwriters and producers to help you make it. And I was just like, yes, let's do it. And I'm a terrible singer. I can't quite explain how bad I am at singing. I am way below average. Like, you have average. I was terrible. I ended up doing singing lessons for like 6 months, and I got like a lot better, but I'm still terrible. Like I'm still really below average, but I was just like down here. Now I'm like here. I really enjoyed actually the process of learning. Like you can get better at singing. Like you don't have to be born like natural talent. Search up Ed Sheeran and how bad he used to be. He does this interview with Jimmy Fallon, I think, where he shows like a recording. He used to be terrible, and yeah, it's just like you can just practice to get good. I actually sort of want to do singing lessons again, just for fun. Side note. Anyway, we make this song, and I actually got home to Australia because I ended up getting glandular fever around this time, and I was like really sick, but I managed to get record the song in the studio. I turned up to the studio, by the way, and it was the most uncomfortable experience of my life. I've never in my life tried to sing. It's always just like screaming as a joke at parties and whatever it is. And I rock up and there's like the producer and the songwriter with me, and then he's like, "Yeah, you ready?" And I'm like, "Okay." And I like put the headphones on and into the microphone thing, and I'm here like, "De Alfredo," and he's like, "No, I want you to like say it louder." And there was this part of the chorus is really high, and I couldn't quite make it. My voice was like cracking, and he's like, "Pretend you're in a stadium, just scream." So I'm here like, "De Alfredo," and I'm just, anyway, it was such a funny experience. It was so cool, and I got that out. Luckily, Auto-Tune saved my life. Producer put some magic spins on it, and then we did about a month of like promoting it on TikTok, and then it ended up it came in like after the day of release. It came in at like number 42 or something in the top 50 charts on Spotify in Norway, and then it climbed and it got up to number 9 at one point. This was just so unexpected. I nearly just dribbled. I had like no clue what to expect at all, and it was just honestly so surreal. And I was in Australia when it was released, and I was like still recovering from glandular fever, and I was like, what is going on? And then at this point, this was like shortly after, not too long after my ex and I broke up, so I wasn't actually sure if I was going to stay in Australia, move to Oslo or whatever it was. And then I was like, yeah, like I've just sort of set up my life a little bit in Norway. I'm not ready to leave, so I moved to Oslo. I ended up doing like a little mini tour, playing this one song set essentially, and I played at this festival in Norway. Stavanger is like a city in Norway, and there's like a massive festival. Khalid was playing at this festival, some other American rappers, and I was backstage and I was just chatting to this guy and I can't remember his name. I'm so bad at names, but anyway, that was just like a crazy experience. Got to crowd surf, which is fun. After that, I was just like yeah, I did a few more songs, all of them flopped. But it was just a really cool experience seeing that whole music world. And then in October of 2022, I sort of realised, I don't want to live in Norway forever. I want to sort of travel to different places and sort of expand my world. I love Norway though, loved it so much. It'll always be like a second home for me. But I was just ready to try something new, and that was when I swapped to English with my social media, because I was like, you know, if I can grow an audience outside of Norway, then it'll give me more options to kind of move around and still be flexible work-wise. So I swapped to English. It took about like 6 to 8 months of just complete flopping of videos. Just because I had no clue what I was posting. Like, my content completely changed. So I still had like my Norwegian audience, but now I was just posting stuff in English and just completely different style of content. So if you scroll down far enough on my TikTok, you'll see all Norwegian stuff, by the way. But yeah, and then I was sort of lucky. I left Norway in May, and May was right about when it started taking off outside of Norway. And then I travelled for a couple of months and then moved to London in August last year. Let me backtrack a tiny bit. When I said I had glandular fever, which was now nearly 3 years ago, that ended up progressing into chronic fatigue. So that has been a big part of my life, like, since then. And if you don't know what chronic fatigue is, it's essentially your throat will swell up, you get tired and achy, and you just feel exhausted, like completely depleted. You just have to lie around, and you get like that really easily from if it's like 2 late nights in a row, or like I do a hard gym sesh, anything like that. Like I was just so fragile, and it was about 2 years it was really bad, and I'm only now, this year, it's like been my sort of triumph overcoming it, and I'm still not 100%, but I'm so much better. I'm actually able to train now. It's really exciting. So relief, because gym is like a big part of my life. I was a PT back home, and yeah, I'm so keen to get fit and healthy again. I don't know, you're probably wondering, you're like, wow, he's looking pretty fit, considering I haven't trained at all really in the past 3 years. Yeah, stop it, honestly. But yeah, then I moved to London in August. I was really lucky that my social sort of took off, because when I moved to London's obviously really expensive, and I was so nervous about basically my money was just like withering away and getting really low. And then in the first month here was probably one of the most stressful months of my life, because I was still in that transition period between like getting any jobs, sort of like brand deals, which is how I make most of my money, with my new audience. And I was considering, I was like maybe I'm gonna have to get a job, like a normal job. And then I just kind of got lucky. Things started to take off social media wise for me, so I was able to just keep having fun and filming it, essentially. So yeah, very lucky with that, and honestly it's so fun. I literally just do what I love to do and film it. And yeah, anyway, fast forward a year, and this is where I am. I'm at an interesting part of my life now where I don't know, I think everyone in their 20s is kind of working out what exactly they want to do, what direction they want to go in. And I don't think anyone will ever know. Like 20s, 30s, 40s, like no one really ever knows what they're doing. But I'm just trying out as many different things as I can. YouTube, for one. I think YouTube, I'm really excited about it because it's obviously longer form content. I feel like I'll just be able to be myself more and not have to kind of rush with like 60-second, 90-second videos and kind of, keep your attention constantly for that time. I feel like YouTube, I can just kind of take my time and just connect with people on like a deeper level as well, which I'm really excited about. The underlying message whenever I make content is just like being yourself, be confident, don't care too much what others think, and just like take risks, embarrass yourself, fail, like don't be afraid of that. So I think, yeah, I'm just really excited to see what happens with YouTube and where I can take it. Bear with me though, because it's going to be a bit of a learning curve. I've got this new camera that I'm filming on now, which is why you can see me very clearly. This is my first YouTube video, but when I go to South America, which is in 3 days, I'm going to Colombia, Ecuador and Peru, I'm going to film lots of stuff there on this bad boy, and then try to chuck something together, who knows what, from the trip. Once I'm back, I'm going to be gone for about a month. But that's my story. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm 23 years old, turn 24 in about a month and a half. Just a baby. Welcome to the fam. Welcome to Ollywood. Am I right? Get it like Hollywood, Ollywood, Ollie Bowman. Alright, see ya.